when you go to a baseball game, though, and this will transition into your baseball research here. When you go to a baseball game, what's the first thing that you do when you walk in the gates?
The first thing that I do?
Yeah.
Buy a hot dog and a Bud Light Lime.
Oh, my goodness.
Right? Here you go.
Yeah, I usually got to get a beer. Yeah.
You get a beer.
Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
And I'm Brian.
On the controls, his spring training, so to speak, Mr. Dolan.
Yeah.
Turning the knobs on the black box.
That's right. He's calling the signals.
Yes, he is. He is calling the signals. Good call.
Yeah, he's over
I
there
don't
in
even
the
know where to
dugout.
start.
Yeah, there we go. Dolan's in
his
the
nose and
yeah,
rubbing his shoulder.
He's in the bullpen.
He's warming up.
What's baseball?
Exactly.
Yay, sports ball. We're
Yeah.
going
Sports
to
ball.
teach you all about it.
So, in honor of spring training starting, we have a beer from our friend Thomas Piper in Ohio called Major Lager from a brewery called the Brew Kettle.
Yes.
First of all,
Yeah.
I'm so excited that we're even talking about baseball in the first place.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is a baseball themed can,
Yep.
baseball theme. Like when you click on their website, it says Go Tribe. Like
Yeah.
they are at Cleveland Indians Brewery.
I like that you can kind of see 99 on the background of that can. That's pretty cool.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they are this, and this I believe is their flagship beer too. If
Makes sense to me.
sure, how close they are to the Indians, I don't know. Where's there are 3 different locations that we'll get into. Or
Yeah, I saw a
you
couple
know.
of spots there, but I've never been to Ohio, so I don't know where any of those
Maybe
towns
Thomas
are.
could answer that for
Yeah.
us and let us know. So, but interesting that it's that time of year again. It seems like we were just doing stouts and
Yeah.
porters and winter warmers and
Yeah.
all those, and now we're talking about lagers, and
And that feels good.
it does.
Yeah.
Oh man,
We've talked baseball. We don't stop talking baseball.
that's true.
Just the types of conversations that we have are a little bit different. It's kind of fun, the hot stove stuff, whose players are going where and that sort of thing. That's
Yep.
great for a while. And then you start reading the reports about who's in camp and who's going to be this and that.
Yeah.
But then you just need the actual stuff.
I just want to hear the ball hit the bat.
I mean, we could get the sound effects for that, but
Oh, we
you want
could.
current, real time.
I want to see it happen real time.
Yeah.
In a real game where it matters.
I always remember the first game of the year I would watch like a spring training game. And I watch a whole spring training game, which is dumb,
I
but,
will too.
I mean, most people are just like, what?
Well, you see, like,
Oh, I have to.
you see double A guys you're never going to see or whatever. Like,
Yep.
okay, I'm going to see this dude in 3 years, but now I can see him right now.
Yeah. And you might learn a couple of things. And the interviews are a little loosier, goosier.
Oh, of course.
They're on the field and in the dugout and stuff. It's
Yep.
like you don't get to do that in a normal game. So
No.
it's kind of a little sneak peek. It's
It
fun,
adds a layer to it that's a lot of fun.
at least for us nerds.
So let's try this beer first. It's a lager, 4.5% ABV. Pretty simple.
Oh, I almost breathed that right in.
Are you okay?
Oh,
there?
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a little excited?
Mm-hmm.
9.9 IBUs, so not bitter whatsoever.
Easy.
Oh boy, you could just crush that all day.
Super easy.
Man,
Man.
that tastes like sitting in the outfield.
Oh, God, this is... All it needs a hot dog or some nachos.
Pretzel.
Oh, man. Right there.
Yeah, let's
All right.
go. I can almost smell the grass.
All right, I got lots and lots of baseball. If you don't like baseball whatsoever, don't turn it off just yet. We'll
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. We'll work in some other stuff here for you as well, but
Maybe.
very, very, very baseball themed.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the
This
point.
week. So the Brew Kettle located 3 locations, with another location opening soon in Mentor, Ohio. They have locations in Strongsville, Amherst, and Hudson.
One of those was in a mall.
One of them looked like an old Bennigan's.
Yeah.
or an Applebee's or something like that.
You ever been to Bennigan's?
Way back in the day.
You ever had the Monte Cristo sandwich?
Not
So
from there.
terrible.
No.
So gross. You ever had a Monte Cristo?
I don't even know what that is.
Just in general, you don't like
Yeah,
the Monte Cristo?
no.
Oh, I do.
No.
It's almost like a breakfast kind of.
But it's like a ham sandwich
Yeah.
with this one had like jelly on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I've had that, but not I don't even know what a Bennigan's is.
Oh, it's kind of.
Actually, you know what? I think Bennigan's closed before Dolan was born.
Well, there was one in Lincoln up until like 2 years ago.
No, you're
Yeah,
making that up.
it was new.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay. You've
It's
never been.
kinda-
You don't know what a Bennigan's is?
Kind of like a TGI Fridays
Yeah.
or.
I've never even been there.
Oh my god. Okay, it's kind of like a restaurant. You ever been to one of those?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Office Space?
Boom. 37 pieces of flair,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Shooters
how about
or whatever.
What's the other one I'm thinking of?
I mean, that was Ruby Tuesday, TGI
I've
Friday.
been to Ruby Tuesday.
Chili's,
Chili's.
maybe.
Yeah.
I enjoy me some Chili's, though. I think out of all of them, Chili's has kind of evolved with the times, whereas like
Look at that
Applebee's.
Tex-Mex flavor, a little different, chips and salsa.
Go get yourself a Bourbon Street steak at Applebee's.
Applebee's. That's the one I was trying to think
There
of.
you go.
Applebee's.
That hasn't changed
You've
in years.
surely driven past an Applebee's.
I've been to a few Applebee's.
Okay. The Brutus.
Remember last week I talked about my mom being a manager at Applebee's.
That's right. See,
Right.
that's basically
Or
Bennigan's.
last week's, 2 weeks maybe.
In essence, you've been to a Bennigan's then.
Yeah, they're kind of all the same.
Yep. So each of those locations is open 11 to 11 Sunday through Thursday and 11 to 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday.
All right, they're getting after it.
I love that. I think
Yeah.
that's great. Here's the thing, and it said kitchen closes early, and that was my first indication that there might be something else going on here.
Oh yeah, I peeped it.
Did you look at this?
Oh yeah,
Award-winning barbecue here.
the menu was great.
Man.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I got to ask this to all my Ohio friends.
Okay.
Okay? The first thing on their menu is barbecue spaghetti. Why you got to mess with spaghetti, right? There's all the different... what are the
That's
two...
Cincinnati one? Yeah.
The Cincinnati chili.
Yeah, the Skyline
Skyline
and
chili.
the Gold Star.
Why you always got to put stuff on chili? What are you putting barbecue sauce on chili for? Or why are you putting barbecue
Noodles.
sauce on spaghetti?
Because you can.
Why not put barbecue sauce on spaghetti?
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
I don't know. You don't know until you try.
I've tried.
Well, apparently it must work because it was number one thing.
It does work.
Yeah, I guess
does.
people buy it. I thought the menu was way bigger than a traditional brew pub. So there must be it must have been a restaurant first, maybe, and then beer. I don't know, because with that much food, it was like you were at a restaurant. Is what it looked like to me.
Well, there's while I was on tour with the band, I stopped at a brewery in Springfield, Missouri. It's called Springfield Brewing.
Okay.
And they were more they had a full menu and everything like that too. Actually, I had the best buffalo mac and cheese there ever.
Whoa.
Yeah.
High praise for Springfield.
There you go. I think maybe also it depends on potentially the size of the town.
True.
Because, hey, maybe we're a brewery and that might not be enough. Maybe we need to add another feature to this to make people come.
Yep.
But this one looked like, it had it had like a whole list of burgers, and it had flatbreads, and it had the barbecue stuff you were talking about. It had desserts, like fresh pie. I saw was one of the things.
Upstream?
I was getting real hungry.
A lot like Upstream, right? here in
Upstream?
Yeah,
Omaha.
maybe like
maybe.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't work out so good, but
They still got one.
they got one.
Yeah. And it's okay.
I'd eat some of their mashed potatoes right
I
now.
like their
Tell you that.
calamari. Calamari's pretty on point.
Can you tell it's lunchtime?
It's definitely lunchtime.
All we've talked about is food so
It's
far.
food.
Well, food, baseball.
And beer, it all kind of goes together.
No kidding. So this was interesting as I did my research on the brewery itself. Couldn't find a ton about the dudes that started it. Which it generally is fine. I do know they opened in 95. And just recently, they've kind of gone through a makeover of sorts. So May 2019, they transitioned their lineup of beers from 12-ounce bottles to 12-ounce cans, which we've seen just recently here in Omaha, too. Cost-wise, probably
Storage is
easier. It gets it out to the people better, right? I mean, that's one of the breweries here in Omaha that was facing was distribution problems. You can't get glass bottles into a lot of places, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have the cans.
Or you can't take them with you where you want to go. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's harder. So the brewery hired Ohio-based artist Clint Davidson to lead the updated designs. The first cans hit the market somewhere end of May, 1st of June, and this was one of them. Major Lager was the first one. Premium domestic style lager, 16-ounce cans. 6-pack of this is $8.99. It's a good price point.
For 16-ounce cans, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of 6-pack 16-ouncers.
Nope. If I could get this for $9, this beer right here for 6 of them, all day.
Yeah. That'd be a rotation in my fridge for a post-mow beer in the summertime. You need to cool off a little bit.
Absolutely. Or during the game when you're watching it at home.
Hopefully not the Indians.
Yeah, no. Well, it depends,
I guess if you're a Cleveland Indians fan, this is great for you.
Yep. God, 2016 was almost great for you too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Almost. Sorry, Ohio. The brewery announced, this is super interesting too, because we've seen this come up from time to time. They purchased the former production site of a brewery called Fatheads Brewing Company.
I feel like I've heard that name.
I think I have too.
Yeah.
And that's on Sheldon Road in Middleborough Heights. And that's where they're brewing right now, as far as I can tell. The Brew Kettle will use this site as a temporary brewing facility until the completion of a new brewing facility, which is currently in the planning stages. So I think as of last year, it was planning. They're actually listing this Middlebury Heights as their current location.
Oh, okay.
So they're still brewing out of this. Whether or not they're actually building the new location, don't know.
Yeah.
But the agreement is between 3 parties: the Brew Kettle, Fatheads, and Rivals Brewing Company. So 3 of them together are brewing in this one very large location. So I guess like a co-packer, maybe, I guess.
Yeah,
I
it must
don't
be
know.
something like that.
Yeah, however that works. So
I like that one of the names is Rivals.
Rivals.
And they're like, yeah, let's collaborate. Let's share. That's good. I like it.
I like it. It tripled their production when they moved to this facility. So,
well, that's why you do it, I guess.
Something's happening right for the Brew Kettle.
Well,
here.
25 years in business doesn't hurt either.
Yeah. I told you I went a little bit different route. Now let's. You know what? We're gonna do this at the end.
Oh, okay.
I got a little additional here, along with the Untapped.
About what?
Kind of how it rates.
Oh,
I
okay.
went to the old TripAdvisor and checked it out.
Okay.
Because if they've got food, let's see how it ranks with the rest of the places around there.
Well, I went deep dive-ish into their beer menu because I wanted to see what else they had, right?
Yes.
So we just missed their vanilla frambozen for Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
It's like a raspberry vanilla concoction.
I would have been all about that.
They have one called Perfect Strangers, which is a coffee pale ale, which I've never had in my life. It is a strange combination. I wonder what that would taste. I've had a coffee IPA before, but never a pale ale. They have one that's called Black Raja, which is their black IPA that I think won an award maybe a couple years ago I saw on their website. They have a maple barrel-aged winter warmer, which I would definitely try. Right? Good. Blood orange shandy for the summertime.
Oh.
So they also did seasonal like pumpkin beer. They have an Oktoberfest. They do a porter. They do an Imperial IPA. What else I wrote down? Oh, a Schwartz beer, an Imperial Schwartz beer. So it's like 9%.
Whoa.
They do an Irish Stout, which would be probably on right now if I had to guess. That would probably be on tap.
Oh, yeah.
And then they did this thing. They really publicized it on their website, which I haven't really seen before. It was like brew your own beer. So they did a thing where it was like, hey, you want a team building event for your office? Brew a beer. You got like a bachelor party or gifts for your bridal party. You want to do something fun? Brew a beer. Birthday thing, brew a beer. So it was like they were really pushing this thing. They had slots that you could like look at and reserve and then purchase and then go there and brew the beer itself, which is kind of fun. I only know of one brewery that does that in Nebraska, and that's a Boiler. You can do that.
So, like, you could schedule like an adult birthday party or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And go
Yeah.
down there and you just
Brew
get
a
together
beer.
or whatever. So,
Yeah.
like me, you, and Dolan could go brew a beer.
Yes.
Oh,
I
interesting.
mean, luckily they're going to do it. You're just going to help lift
You're
the
just
heavy
gonna
stuff,
like
probably.
put
but
the
dump that in there and stir it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Do the dirty work. Clean this out. We probably get that, but
wash this out, sanitize this.
yeah. And they get your name on it, and I guess you probably get to pick what kind of beer it is, that sort of thing. But it was very prominent on their website, and I thought that was kind of cool.
A Beer with Atlas presents Hobo Pork Chop.
Yeah. Could be something like that.
Could be. It could be like a pineapple sour or something.
It would be.
Hobo pork chop. I don't know.
You'd have to have some smoke in it for the smoke from the bonfire.
Like a smoky pineapple ale.
Well, it would be like the one from Wood Grain with that smoked pineapple or the cooked pineapple that they had.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we could definitely do this. It's like a next level from the brewery tour. Everybody's done the brewery tour. Now you can just
could do this.
make the beer. I mean,
I think this is a good idea.
Let's get to Ohio.
Okay. We'll do it.
So that's the beers that they had, and that's the kind of stuff that they make all the time. Just a lot of different seasonals, but it looks like they've been doing some of these for quite a while. So that's my brewery research for you.
So this kind of goes hand in hand with that. I thought, okay, I'm gonna every time we do a style, I'm gonna give you the audience some similar beers that you may have heard of. That, okay, if I drank this beer, I could drink this beer too. Okay, so this is a very, very easy one. Lager. Lager is super easy. I'm gonna give you a bunch of beers a bunch of traditional lagers not named Budweiser.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
because that's everywhere.
Exactly. And I guess if Budweiser's your beer, that's a lager, whatever. There you go. Lager, light lager. Light lagers are generally lighter in color and
pretty clear to see through, and usually around 5%. Yeah,
a little more flavor to the lager than the light lager. Whatever. So here are some traditional lagers that you have probably either had or have heard of. Foster's,
yeah.
Australian for beer, right?
It comes in the oil can.
In a big giant can.
Fat.
Yep.
Yeah,
Have you ever had a Foster's?
of course.
No, I have not.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I heard Australians don't like Foster's.
It's kind of like, I don't know. It's probably like Red Stripe. People don't drink it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like Red Stripe.
Carlsberg.
Yep.
Yep.
That's got an elephant on it, green bottle, I believe.
Peroni.
Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a Peroni fan. I'm not, generally.
Not a Peroni fan either.
No. Generally. I'll drink it if I go to like an Italian festival or whatever.
Sure.
If that's my choices, then yeah. Peroni or Busch Light. I'll take a Peroni.
Oh, yeah.
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 I don't know.
Not that there's anything wrong with Busch Light, but
Yeah.
I enjoy nice cold Busch Light from time to time too. I don't discriminate.
You got to drink what you can.
Yep. Stella. Stella's a lager.
Yep.
I don't like Stella either.
I'm not a big Stella
You don't
fan.
like lagers, maybe.
Maybe. I liked this.
Yeah.
Coors Light.
I like Coors Light.
I don't mind a Coors Light. It's got to be cold.
And it's got to be hot outside.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of here's the thing with this. You're putting a lot of stipulations
I
on how you'll
know.
drink it. No thanks. I'll pass.
Here's the thing: when I'm in Colorado and I have to drink a domestic beer, I choose Coors Light. It's just a Colorado thing. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies.
That's what they say.
All right, it stuck with me.
They do make Coors Banquet beer.
I do like a good little stubby bottle.
I'll do that way more than I would do a Coors Light.
I enjoy those.
Just me.
Amstel.
Amstel Light. I've had
That. Yeah. Here you go. Yingling.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have some of that in my fridge at home right now.
Me too.
I had a lot
cans.
of that in North Carolina.
You can only get it east of the Mississippi.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's America's oldest active brewery, correct?
Craft brewery.
Yes.
Yeah. Oldest craft brewery. Because it's independently owned still. So
Yep.
there's the distinction. But yeah, it's been around since the 1700s.
I wrote this one down, Corona, but actually any Mexican style. So any of the ones that you would drink, Pacifico or Sol, right?
Victoria.
Dos Equis.
I think we did an episode about that one time.
Yes, I think we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Seems familiar.
Cinco de Mayo beers.
That's right.
Coming up on Cinco de Mayo again, we may have to do a
Round
second
two.
level of those.
Yeah,
Sure,
round
why not?
2.
We'll do the Ambers.
We could do the American craft versions of those.
that's a
because
good
a lot
idea.
of breweries make Mexican style lagers.
Tequila barrel aged, maybe?
Whatever we can find, yeah.
There's a deep dive there that we could really. You
Yeah.
could go down a rabbit hole on that.
Uh-huh.
Heineken, gross, but
Yep.
okay.
Heineken's,
nasty.
yeah.
Yuck. And then one of my favorites, the granddaddy, as far as I'm concerned, not Budweiser, Sam Adams Boston Lager.
Okay.
If
A
you
little different color, but
it's way heavier.
yeah.
It's
But
like
it has flavor.
it's so
That's what it's called.
So
It's got
good.
flavor. Yeah.
I love a good Boston Lager. That's my jam.
Wow.
Yep.
You kind of did a deep dive on those because those are like ones you see around, but
Sure.
how
you go.
often are you ordering a Carlsberg?
Depends on where.
Not too
depends on
often.
where you are.
I
though.
guess, I suppose.
guess it depends on where you are.
Isn't that an African beer?
I don't know. I've heard of them.
So where does like we did dad beers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where do all those fall? Like your Natty Lights and your PBRs.
I mean, they're technically
Old
in the
Milwaukee's.
lager division.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just
They're
not as
light
good.
lagers. Is
Yeah.
that's a light lager?
Yeah.
Because I mean, those are the things that you're gonna find at a baseball game too.
True.
PBRs.
You could. I don't know if you'd find PBR anymore.
No. Well, it
It's
depends on where you
actually
go.
like
Milwaukee.
maybe.
Milwaukee.
I mean, if you go to Miller Park, do they have PBR on?
I bet they have Miller Lite.
I bet they do. Mm-hmm. And I bet they have Old Style.
And I bet you they have a ton of craft beers for about $20 a glass.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Because most breweries are teaming up with baseball teams, and they're having, like, Kansas City, for instance, they have a huge, big sign on the back of the stadium now that's Blue Moon.
Huh.
And then they have the Boulevard Party Porch. And
Yes.
then there's this other thing. There's like 5 different breweries in there that you can get beers from. And yeah, it's like another place that are like, ooh, people have money here. Let's get them.
When you go to a baseball game, though, and this will transition into your baseball research here. When you go to a baseball game, what's the first thing that you do when you walk in the gates?
The first thing that I do,
Yeah.
Buy a hot dog and a Bud Light Lime.
oh my goodness.
But right, here you go.
Yeah, I usually got to get a beer. Yeah.
You get a beer.
Yeah.
Right? And a dog.
That or I'm chasing my kid over to the play place over by. That's usually what I do now.
Yeah, true.
What I'd like to do is, get a beer, find my seats, scope it out,
Yep.
plant down, just to let everybody else around know what's up. And then I go get my snacks. But yeah, I like to see what's going on.
You got peacock a little bit.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
That's fine.
yeah.
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I'm ready to go to a baseball game now. This is getting me
Let's just end it right now and go to a game.
too pumped up. It'll be a little chilly today.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't think
right.
anybody's playing.
You're right.
Okay, so this is obvious. We've got a couple different things we're going to talk about. One of them is just because of the love of the Cleveland Indians that this brewery has. We're going to go deep dive into Cleveland Indians baseball. They're one of the oldest teams in the American League in all of baseball. So we're going to hit into some of that history. They've been around for 119 seasons. Founded in 1901. They were the Cleveland Blues for one season. Then in 1902, they were the Cleveland, I like this, Bronchos. I don't know what a Broncho is, but it sounds like a term I would use.
It's like a brochacho.
Yep.
I believe.
Yep. 03 to 1914, they were the Naps, N-A-P-S. Pretty boring. Some people think baseball's boring, but not me. 1915 to current, they have been the Cleveland Indians. They won 2 championships.
Yes.
Their overall record, and this is impressive, because for a long time growing up, they were like the worst team in baseball.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They were like the joke of baseball.
Yes.
And hence the movie Major League. Their overall record is 9,477 to 9,037. So they're 400 games over 500
That's not bad.
for, 100 seasons, 120. That's pretty
Yeah,
good,
that's
really.
Pretty good. Yeah.
I went through a list of Hall of Fame players just that have been elected as of last year.
Okay.
To down into the 80s when we were growing up playing baseball and watching baseball and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So there's some names here that even Dolan will know. I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Look, I like to go to baseball games,
Yeah.
but I don't know anything about baseball.
Well, try this on for size. Harold
All right.
Baines.
Yes.
Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll close my eyes and see his baseball card.
Yep. Jack Morris. He played there for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Jim Thome.
Yeah.
Power hitter. Crushed. ball.
DH. Like legit. Like probably the second best DH of all time.
I don't know because he played pretty good first base.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that.
Second half of his career when he was in Philly, he did really good there.
Okay.
Roberto Alomar.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer.
A lot of people remember him for spitting on the umpire.
Yeah.
Right? But that dude could field balls. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh, his glove was so quick.
The whole baseball family with them was pretty amazing. Bert Blyleven,
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Twins player too,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Dennis Eckersley played for the Indians. He's
Did
a
he?
Hall of Famer. Yeah, he was
Oh.
a starter for them.
Okay.
Eddie Murray played for most teams, but mostly the Orioles, from what I remember.
Yes.
Played with them for a while towards the end. Dave Winfield, same thing. Larry Doby, who
Yes.
was in on the Veterans Committee. Phil Necro.
Knuckleballer.
Yep. this guy, Steve Carlton, he played for a few teams.
Yep.
Gaylord Perry.
Yeah.
And finally, Frank Robinson, manager, player extraordinaire.
Frank Robinson, I would remember as a Oriole, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But
okay.
that's where his last of his career was.
Oh, okay.
Sort of thing. So those are just the Hall of Famers from the last 20-something years that have been elected from Cleveland. Pretty
But
good.
The pitcher, what was his? The dude from Iowa.
Well, I got a little deep dive for you here now. How about this? Bob Feller.
There, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Some of the other players that if you've done any research on baseball or seen any documentaries, there's a few names that you'll know. Ralph Kiner, he played for Cleveland.
Yes.
Bob Feller. Cy Young played for Cleveland.
Yep.
He's known for the surgery now. That's what everybody here, or the award,
The
I guess.
award, yep.
For the best pitcher. And then Walter Johnson, who I always heard with the Washington Senators, but he did play with Cleveland towards the end of his career, and he was a pitcher as well.
Was he the big?
Big, tall guy.
Yeah.
He was like the Nolan Ryan of the 20s, basically,
What was
or the
his
teens.
his nickname? It was like the big cat or the
Something
big,
like
the big
that.
train.
Yeah.
He was a big dude.
Let's see, what else do we got here? Okay, so you mentioned Bob Feller. I have his stats because they're pretty impressive. He had 249 complete games, right?
Jeez.
And you know how many wins he had in his career? 266. So win or loss, he completed the game. That's how you used to do it.
Yeah.
He had 2,581 strikeouts, which is pretty low compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else did I have? 266 wins. Oh, I picked the other two other pitching categories. Their all-time leader in win percentage is Oral Hershiser
Weird.
with a 682. That's pretty good. And
Okay.
their all-time saves leader is Cody Allen with a 149.
Cody Allen, yeah, just recently.
Which tells you in 120 season, 149 is not that many. There's guys that
No.
get 60 in a year.
Yes.
So that's I thought that was interesting to see how they must churn through those closers there.
Man, so you want to be a legend in Cleveland? Go be a closer there.
Yeah, just get 200 saves and you'll be all-timer.
Wow.
Speaking of all-timers, here's some offense stats for us. Slugging and on-base percentage, all-time leader, Manny Ramirez.
Makes sense.
Man Ram, as they called him.
A lot of people remember him as a Red Sox, but he was definitely he was an Indian.
He was crushing it there.
Yep.
All-time leader in batting average, 375. Some dude named Shoeless Joe Jackson.
What?
Yeah, he played with them after the White Sox.
After really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Stolen base leader, 452. Kenny Lofton.
Oh yeah.
Not Willie Mays Hayes.
Nope.
Home
Willie Mays
runs.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not him.
Well.
Kenny Lofton.
I was gonna do my impression of what was the manager's name? What was the manager's name? Damn it.
I don't know. I know who you're talking about, though.
You may run like Hayes, but you hit like shit.
Yep. All-timer.
Oh,
Whoa,
man.
what a movie. All-time leader for home runs and RBIs, Jim Thome. Mm-hmm. He had 1,008. Oh, no, 1,008 was his walk total. He had almost 500 intentional walks.
Wow.
And he walked 1,000 times.
Dude was a beast.
Yeah. And everybody was scared to pitch to him.
Yes.
Double plays hit into. Remember this dude? Julio Franco.
Yes, I do.
165.
He's still playing ball
I don't doubt it. He's probably about 60 years old.
in Korea or somewhere. Like
gosh.
legit, the guy was still playing last year. He's probably late 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, he was like 48 when he was still playing for the Mets a few years
Still
ago.
just wants to play baseball.
Here's one that I kind of forgot about. He hit by pitch leader.
All right.
Travis Hafner.
Oh yeah.
It was like the White Donkey or something was his nickname.
Where'd that dude end up?
I don't know, but he got hit by a pitch 85 times.
Oh boy.
And then the sack fly leader, 62, Omar Vizquel. You don't
yeah.
think of him as hitting. Mm-hmm. So that's what we got for their offensive leaders.
Travis Hafner. He's referred to as the Project, and other times referred to as the Donkey.
Yeah, the donkey.
Why was he called the Donkey?
Because he looked like Shrek? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Professional career. Let's see where he ended up.
Oh yeah, donkey.
Yeah, Donkey.
Now I got Dolan roped in.
There we go. Now we're speaking his language here.
Speaking of Shrek.
His last. I'm trying to get to the end of it here. 2012.
Yeah.
He played for 2013. He played for the Yankees.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. Let's see. Hafner signed a 1-year, $2 million contract deal with the Yankees in 2013. Blah, blah. Despite hitting .318 in April, Hafner faltered later in the season and suffered a rotator cuff inflammation injury.
And that was it.
Yeah, and that was all.
He was another one of those dudes for a while. He was hitting home runs all over the place.
It's a cool nickname, though, Donkey.
Yeah, I don't mind it. That's a good thing about baseball. Everybody's got a nickname. Man. And now they even let you do like one day a year. There's like a jersey with your nickname on it.
Yeah.
They would never do that 20 years ago.
Well, they were stuffy.
Well, and now they figured out, people like this and they'll buy it. There's more money. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yep.
It's all about the bucks.
Absolutely.
I think they said that in the rap song.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Here's another long list of names that won't mean anything to Dolan, but it will for you.
Okay.
So this is when we were growing up, collecting baseball cards, watching baseball on TV. This is just a list of their all-stars from 1989 to 2003. So we're talking
geez.
prime for me growing up watching baseball.
Yep.
And this is, I think, probably why their record is so good overall, because they were tearing the hide off the ball during that stretch. This is also when they opened their new baseball stadium around this time.
Progressive Field, is that
Yes.
the one? Yeah.
Greg Swindell, Doug Jones, Sandy Alomar, Albert Bell, Carlos Baerga, Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez, Jose Mesa, Dennis Martinez, Charles Nagy, Jim Thome, David Justice, Omar Vizquel, Chuck Finley, Travis Fryman, Juan Gonzalez, and CC Sabathia.
That is a list.
Plus Bartolo Colon.
The ageless.
Yes, not bad.
Big sexy.
For a pretty good stretch there. Those are multiple year. You know, some of those guys like Baerga and Sandy Alomar made it like every year. Manny Ramirez.
That's crazy. They were good back then.
They were.
Yeah.
They were real good.
Arguably CC in his prime, I think. I don't know, CC with the Yankees.
Yeah.
But, man, CC was good.
He was good. They always had real good players. They just never could get it over the hump.
No.
At least while we've been watching. At least as well as I've been watching.
Well, yeah. 2016, man, that was a solid team. That was a really, really good team. I only say that because I'm wearing my 2016 World Series. It doesn't matter. It's 5 years old now. It doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter.
It'll last another 100 years.
I'll
You're
wear
fine.
it forever.
Yeah,
it's
World Series.
It's some of the best memories of baseball of all time. But, man, that team was good. And the Cubs just signed Jason Kipnis to a minor league deal for this season. Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know. As a kid growing up as a baseball fan, before free agency was a real big thing like it is now, you know, you had a lot of players that stuck with their teams.
Right.
And I like that. You know, it's hard for me to invest in a person when they're at 5 different places in 7 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why when I think of these names that I just rattled off, that's because I was like, oh, yeah, those are Cleveland Indians guys, you know, like lifers. And you just don't see that anymore. That's probably why one of my favorite players is Alex Gordon, because he hasn't gone anywhere.
He's a Kansas City Royal for life.
Yep.
Right. He really is.
And he was, you know, Royals fan growing up and lived just so close. And, yeah, so there's not as many of those anymore, the Jeters and that sort of stuff.
Brett
so.
Saberhagen and George Brett and
George
Frank
Brett.
White.
Yep. Those are my guys.
Right? I mean, those guys.
Yeah.
Those.
I'm hoping Salvi's the next one for us that doesn't leave. We just sign him.
Arguably one of the best catchers when he's healthy in the American League.
I'm hoping that last year, this is a little Royals talk for you, Dolan. I'm hoping he had the whole last year off. Hopefully that was good for him, and it gives him like 2 or 3 more seasons.
Rejuvenated.
Yeah, just nice to rest those knees.
Yep.
As you can see on the can there, there's major allusions to Major League.
Absolutely.
I mean, the beer's called what?
Major Lager.
There you go. And it has the famous glasses, and it has the number 99 in the background.
Yep.
And we're going to get into a little Major League trivia. Dolan, have you seen Major League? No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Wild Thing, Ricky Vaughn. We wear sleeves at this level, son.
Yeah. What else? Jobu?
Yeah.
I had Aaron Daly's fantasy team tied up with that Jobu. That was the name of our league, I think.
The
last
president from 24 was Pedro Serrano in Major League.
year. No.
Curveballs, not so much. Hats for bats, keep bats warm.
Tom Berenger was in it. Corbin Burnson.
Yeah, no.
Wesley Snipes. Yeah. Ever heard of him? No.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about it anyway. Mitch Williams, remember him? Ex-Cub, right?
He was the Wild Thing, man. He pitched with his hair was on fire.
He basically became the character. So
Absolutely.
the person was based on somebody else.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's my nickname anyway, because he was wild. He threw hard, and he sometimes lost control.
You didn't know where it was going.
He changed his number to 99. He took the song that they used, the Wild Thing song, and they used it for him.
Of course
and
they
they
did.
credit this movie as being like the instigator for players to have walk-up songs, like individual songs.
Yeah.
And because he had that when he came out of the bullpen. And then like Mariano Rivera did that with like the Metallica song. And then
Enter
now
Sandman.
everybody has, even in the minor leagues, everybody has their songs.
Oh, everybody
it's like,
does.
It's synonymous with baseball now, is like the walk-up music.
Right.
And there's playlists out there that you can get that show the walk-up music for all the teams and stuff. Like it's just another facet to the game. In 2016, you referenced earlier, Cleveland Indian Mike Napoli and Jason Kipnis, they went ahead and they bought 2 Jobu statues and brought them into the clubhouse. And they put vodka in it at first, and that didn't work. So they switched it to rum.
Yep.
And they won 13 games in a row.
Yes.
Their catcher, Jan Gomes, was in a major slump. So what'd they do? They went to the grocery store and they bought a chicken, like a rotisserie chicken, and they sacrificed it to Jobu. And he broke the streak that night and he got a hit. Good stuff right there.
Yes.
That's things from the movie. Charlie Sheen was a pitcher in high school.
Was he?
He was, and he could pitch in the low 80s.
Okay.
Guess where he got a scholarship offer to? The only one I could find.
Where?
The University of Kansas.
No way.
Baseball scholarship.
Not a chance.
Yep, but he turned it down. He was going to be an actor.
Yeah, you go to you go to there to play basketball. You don't go to there to play baseball. No offense.
No
Kansas.
offense, KU baseball team that's
Baseball.
listening to this. Charlie Sheen, kind of known as a party dude and some drugs.
No.
Well, one of the drugs he did was steroids before this movie.
He actually did steroids.
He actually did anabolic steroids.
Well-
And he says it helped him get his fastball from 80 to 85.
It also made his nuts really, really small.
Maybe. That's we don't know that for sure.
Well,
He was supposedly pitching over 100 miles an hour in the movie.
yes.
So to make it look like he was, because he was really throwing 85, they moved the mound in 10 feet closer to home plate, so the ball really moved in there.
Sure.
And then they would only shoot from behind the catcher, so you couldn't tell the distance away. So that was a little camera trick that they used. And another camera trick that they used for Willie Mays Hayes, which is Wesley Snipes' character, was they shot all of his stolen base stuff in slow motion.
Oh,
And then they kind of sped it up, so it made him look like he was running a lot faster than he really could.
yeah.
And he was,
He's fast.
that's what they say.
Yeah.
He was not in the sequel, Major League 2, which was shot in 1993. It
That was
was like Omar Epps, I
there.
believe.
I think you're. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I saw it on TV the other day.
All right. I'm gonna look it up while you're talking.
Okay. Let's see. What's another thing? Oh, the director, his name was David Ward, and he was a lifelong Cleveland Indians fan. And he said the reason he made the movie was because he wanted to see the Cleveland Indians win something in his lifetime, which is something a Cubs fan would say up until 2016.
Yes, you're right. Omar Epps. You're right.
Yeah. See.
Good job.
Let's see. What was the other thing? Oh, Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker. He's probably one of the most famous things of this movie. Very
Just a
quotable.
bit outside.
That was an ad lib.
That
he
was?
came up. Yes.
No.
And the guy that cast him, the director, David Ward, picked him because he saw him in the Miller Lite commercials and on Mr. Belvedere. And it wasn't until he got the job that he even know that he was the actual announcer for the Milwaukee Brewers and had been for 20 years.
He didn't know. He had no idea. What?
He didn't know he was an actual commentator.
No.
And that's how he got cast, was from the beer commercials, and he liked his presence on screen. And he did that. A lot of the lines he said were his lines.
That he used on, like, with the Brewers.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there was another thing that he did where he takes a break and he puts some whiskey behind his ears. And
Yes.
because he was basically trying to show that he likes whiskey so much he'll wear it like cologne. And that was a thing he came up with as well that kept in the movie.
Let me tell you 2 things about this real quick. One, I on XM radio, you only, unless you pay extra, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. You only get the home broadcast. So if I
Right.
want to listen to the Cubs and they're in Milwaukee playing, I have to listen to
Ueck.
Ueck, right? He calls balls and strikes backwards.
Yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes, right? That's
Yeah.
You call balls first, then strikes, right? A strike and 2 balls. Like, he always calls it backwards.
Weird.
It's just super annoying.
Huh.
Just super annoying. Secondly, I will still reference, and my oldest daughter just sent me this, in like things that dads say or things that dads do or whatever. If I get a parking spot right up front,
Yeah.
right, I say, oh, I must be in the front row. because that was his Miller Lite commercial.
That's right.
And they sat him way back in the bad seats, right? I mean, that was the funny thing. Right?
Yeah.
I must be in the front row.
Oh, yeah. Good old stuff.
Yep.
Two other things about the movie that I remember and that I read. Well, I guess I learned this today, but a couple other things I remember about it was all the baseball scenes were shot in the Milwaukee Brewers Stadium because it was getting torn down around the same time.
Oh.
So all the home scenes in the movie were actually shot in Milwaukee, and it was super hot. It was like the hottest summer on record at that time. And even when they were playing like in the playoffs and all the players had long sleeves on and everything like that, it's supposed to be like fall baseball. If you look in the crowd, everybody's wearing tank tops and shorts because it was so hot.
It was so hot.
And they had 20,000 extras, I read,
Wow.
to go to the game.
I would have done that.
I would too, to be in a movie. But it was back in the time when the Indians, except for the home opener, they would sell that out every year. But then after that, there'd be like 4,000 people. Yeah. And it was true to the movie, like where there's three guys out there banging on a drum in the outfield. Like that's what the crowds look like, which is still what a lot of times what the Royals games look like.
Sure. Yeah.
So that hasn't changed. But that's what I learned about. That's some little trivia things about Major League.
I love Major League. It's one of those you just got to watch it. It's so highly quotable. It's just good baseball movie.
Yeah, it was one of the movies I remember watching with my dad, and it was a movie that had they not been divorced, I probably wouldn't have got to watch it because it was rated R.
Oh, yeah.
For a reason. I remember the team owner. They had the life size cutout of her.
Yeah.
And every time they won a game or something, they took off a sticky note.
Yeah.
I think it was, wasn't
a
it?
piece of her dress or whatever.
And then it got real racy. They shot an alternate ending. So at the actual ending of the movie, when it's all said and done, she's like, "Oh, I'm not really that bitchy and angry, and I don't want to sell the team. I was just motivating us because I knew we were really bad." But the test screeners of it were like, "No, we want her to be mean."
Yeah,
like,
she needs to be bad.
Right. So then they redid it and didn't have that big reveal at the end. And that's kind of what everybody remembers.
Nice. It's better that way.
It seems to me that way.
Yeah, she needs to be mean and bitchy.
Yeah.
And then didn't Corbin Burnson buy the team from her in like
something
Major
like that? Yeah,
League
Major League 2.
Major
That
League
whole
3.
situation was based on the Minnesota Twins in the late 70s, early 80s. The guy that owned the team had a clause, like an escape clause in it. Basically said, if we're less than X amount of people at the games for 3 years in a row, I can take the team wherever I want.
Oh.
So for 2 years, they were like, lost 100 games. There was 8,000 people at the games. And everybody started getting mad because they figured out he was signing nobodies and cutting good players and brought rookies up, and it was basically just to leave the town.
Tanking on purpose,
and
right.
so everybody got mad about it, and he ended up having to sell. He sold to an investor that kept it in Minnesota, and that's still where they're at now. But
As it should be.
a lot of the players in the movie were based on real players. That whole situation was based on a real thing. Just picked Cleveland because that's where he was a fan of and where he was from. So
All right.
pretty cool.
It all worked out for Cleveland in the end.
Dolan, what's your favorite baseball movie?
Bench warmers. I'm just kidding.
Benchwarmers.
Is that a movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was like the one after
No.
Napoleon Dynamite.
And then there's what other ones I see? Sandlot, of course.
Sandlot.
Well, that's
good.
a classic.
Angels in the outfield.
Okay.
That one wasn't my favorite, but Sandlot, of course.
Okay.
And then what's the one with all it's not Sandlot, but it's kind of like Sandlot. It's kind of funny. They all they're younger and then they grow up.
Little Giants?
Little Giants, maybe.
That was football. That was football.
No. It's baseball. This one's baseball.
The Bad News Bears?
Bad News Bears.
Probably the remake, though.
Yeah.
With Billy Bob Thornton.
With Billy Bob.
It would have been, like 2005.
The clip,
2006.
someone put like Astros titles underneath. Have you seen this
No.
video where he's on the mound drinking a beer
Yeah.
and he's throwing, every one of them hits the kid or whatever. It's like George Springer and Blanc and it hits him on the head. Carlos Correa, Blanc, and it hits him in the, or whatever. It's like, well, that would have hurt if you didn't have a helmet on.
Oh, man. That's funny because it might be true.
That's going to be true.
I saw Dusty Baker, the new manager of the Astros,
That's unfortunate.
pleading to the major league officials to be like, hey, watch out for these beanballs.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was right on the dot. Yeah, Bad News Bears 2005.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the one.
Billy Bob.
There you go.
Yeah.
What about you?
My favorite baseball movie of all time is still Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
I would default back to For Love of the Game. Just
Kevin
another.
Costner?
I love.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
scratch that. My favorite baseball movie of all time is Hardball.
I don't know if I've seen Hardball.
I love Hardball. It's
Who's in Hardball?
Yeah, jeez. It starts off with a guy. He basically is doing. I think it's gambling. He's gambling on games. He ends up losing, and the only way he can get his money back is if he coaches Little League baseball.
That seems legit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, not
Keanu Reeves,
Keanu Reeves. Yeah,
Diane Lane, DB Sweeney.
such a good movie. So basically, it's a rough part of town.
Yeah.
These kids don't have really anything. They can't even afford jerseys for the team.
Oh, wow.
And he ends up taking them to the championships or whatever. But there's a lot of crazy things that happen. But
He goes down to the sports betting place and he puts some
Yes.
money on the ponies. And I'm just making this up now. And then that's how he wins enough money to buy them jerseys. Does
no,
this happen?
actually,
Oh.
the reason why he's trying to get money is because he lost a bet that he can't afford.
Ooh, that happens.
Yeah, and those guys are going to come break his legs.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be the case. I like Mr. 3000.
That's a good one.
It's a comedy.
Tom Selleck, right?
Nope. That's like Mr. Baseball.
Oh,
I'm thinking Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Tom Selleck one's not bad.
Okay.
Let's see what else is a good one. Not Kid in King Arthur's Court. Is that what it was called? It was like a kid that was like from out of time and came and like learned how to play baseball.
Weird.
That was bad. What's another one?
These are ones you like, right?
No, that one I don't like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one was no good. I'm trying to think of one I don't know. I like Sandlot, but it's not all about baseball.
It's a classic. It's just
Eight Men Out.
Oh yeah.
Watched that in school. That was good.
I'll tell you, I loved the dead ball era of baseball. Like that sort of era right in there, right? And understanding how the Black Sox threw that World Series, the players that were involved, the players that weren't involved. I mean, the movie got me interested, and then you go read some of the books behind it and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's fascinating. All the details behind that.
I think what got me into like the history of baseball really probably was the Ken Burns documentary,
Yeah.
and just learning about all the characters really that were in the game and how much these players meant to cities,
Right.
Like it was a huge thing. Baseball, it is America's pastime kind of for a reason, and it really was like something everybody paid attention to, whether you wanted to or not. Like 50 years ago, no one's got a favorite baseball team, It has to.
True.
That's the pulse of the country.
Right,
So
right.
it's interesting how things have changed, and like you'd go to a baseball game in the afternoon and you'd be in your suit and tie and your hat because there was no night games,
Right.
and that's what you did.
Yep.
So my great-great-grandpa, two greats. So my grandpa's grandpa. That's
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He was a wrestler. And how they did it back in the would have been 1910 or 1900s. They would have their baseball game, and then they would hold wrestling right there on the baseball field right after the baseball games.
Is this wrestling or is this wrestling?
This is he did both.
Both, like actual wrestling,
Yeah, he
like
did.
Greco-Roman.
Yeah, like they would, they would full on just maybe sometimes it was the baseball players, sometimes it was just other people in the crowd, and they would wrestle. So you could stay for the after show after the baseball game.
Interesting.
But after he did that wrestling, then he went on to be a wrestler. And
there
I
we
think
go.
he went by
Something great. Come on.
it's like Mr. Penguin or King Penguin or something like that. It was weird, but yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Dolan's next nickname.
That's what I was thinking.
King Penguin.
Oh boy. A League of Their Own. I
Yes.
forgot. That's my favorite baseball movie because
That-
it's baseball
That's an absolute gem. That
Yeah.
thing is unbelievable.
with all the great acting in
Oh,
it and
boy.
stuff. Plus,
Yep.
it was like a good look at like what baseball life was like back then.
I just took Steve for the first time to the Negro Baseball Museum in Kansas City.
I still want to go. Never been.
If you've never been, you need to go. Now, here's what you need to do ahead of time.
Yeah.
You need to prepare yourself because it's awesome
Yeah.
and sad all at the same time.
Yeah.
Because baseball would be a completely different sport right now if some of these guys a chunk of these guys had been allowed to play.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be called the Cy Young Award, right? I
Right.
mean, it's
Probably the Satchel Paige
It's
Award.
the Satchel Paige Award.
Yeah.
100% it'd be the Satchel Paige Award.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is he the one that did he wear 44? Or who's
Nope, that's Jackie
Jackie
Robinson.
Robinson,
Jackie Robinson.
42.
Yeah,
Yep.
42. Yeah.
Even up to Jackie Robinson, though, there were players
Yeah.
before him that were just unbelievable talents that
Yeah.
weren't allowed to play at the major league level. That would just dominate
Yeah.
at their level.
Like Josh Gibson, I remember one of those names.
I think you could argue that we would remember Babe Ruth
Yeah.
as a great baseball player.
Yeah.
But we would remember Josh Gibson as the best baseball player.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I think that would I 100% believe that. Just based on how he played at the time,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is. It would be sad to see all that stuff, but I really want to see
It's
it.
awesome. It is really, really awesome. They've done a great job there. And admission's like $10 a person.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. You self-guided, you walk around. It's just they've got videos and it's super cool.
Yeah, I want to go.
And they had cool nicknames back then too. Like
Yeah.
we just had we had regular players or whatever.
Yeah.
Mickey Mantle and guys like that. They
Yeah,
had
the
cool,
Mick.
cool Papa Bell. And,
Yeah, cool Papa Bell.
Oh man.
What was Satchel Paige's nickname? I can't remember, but
I
it was
don't know.
something kind of cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the Untapped on this?
Yeah.
Well,
let's do this
Here's what
thing.
here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna end with two of these, right?
Okay.
As much as I like the Untapped, for the regular person going into this brewery or whatever, where would you go? Like you would
Right.
on your phone, whatever, look up TripAdvisor.
Okay.
Seems pretty common, right?
All
So I
right.
looked up TripAdvisor for all three of these locations: Strongville, Amherst, and Hudson. 4 out of 5 on 86 reviews for the Strongsville location. It's actually listed as the number 3 thing to do in all of Strongsville.
I couldn't tell you two other things to do in Strongsville.
There you go.
So that's good.
I didn't even look up 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I would
try Skyline or Gold Star,
maybe.
maybe.
There you go. 4 out of 5 out of 91 reviews for the Amherst location, listed as the number 3 restaurant in all of Amherst. So
pretty good.
That's not bad. And then it looks like they got to do a little bit of work on the Hudson location. 3.5 out of 4 on 46 reviews. 24th best restaurant in Hudson out of like 40 some. It looked like some of the more recent reviews where they have a problem with service.
Oh,
But
that happens everywhere too.
happens everywhere. Right. Exactly. So go to Strongsville and have beers there. How's that? I don't know how close they are to each
Yeah.
other. So Untapped, 2,122 check-ins. What do you think?
3.6.
3.99, and that's because of the number on the key.
3.5 on the nose. Oh. Yep. There you go. So I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Notice I drank
Yeah,
mine
yours was gone quick.
And then I finished what was
And
left
then
in
Dolan's
the
was gone.
can there. So
He went to the bullpen, and I
Yep.
closed it out.
he called
That's
for
baseball
the
terminology.
called for the setup man.
Yep.
Yeah. And I went for the closer.
That's right.
So there you go. Enjoy some baseball wherever you're at, especially if you're down close to spring training in Florida or Arizona.
Yeah, man, I would love to go.
Regular baseball is just around the corner. I'm sure this is not the first or the last time we will talk about baseball.
I hope not.
It always kind of seems to come up.
Yeah, it does. We might force it a little, but good thing you're in charge.
By the end of this, not only will Dolan like IPAs, he will also like baseball.
He'll know the stats of Juan Gonzalez.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.